Hello guys, welcome to my new video, and I want to do this as quickly as possible because today we'll be talking about some of my most asked questions, and that is to do with things that I almost consider to be a huge advantage to playing World of Warcraft. And we'll be talking about voice notifications, we'll be talking about skinning chat bubbles, and we're talking about some of the weak words that I find really cool. Now, keep in mind I made a video like this about 5 months ago about voice notifications.
Watch your step.
Move. Interrupt. Targeted.
But I've been getting so many questions about this, I decided to update the video and talk about some of the ways of implementing and adding it to the game to get voice notifications. There are multiple ways of doing it. First of all, you probably will look into getting weak words. Now, before you want to talk about weak words, I do want to say that I do use DBM. And this is very important. You can use DBM, or some people use bigwigs and they use announcements there. But I use DBM voice pack VEM. And this is going to add voice notifications to some of the abilities. It's not going to be everything, but it's going to add notifications to some of the things that DBM covers. So let's check that out in the game. So if you are using DBM or bigwigs, again, I'm not sure about bigwigs yet, but in DBM, once you download it, you can actually, first of all, you can use it on like CurseForge. You can install it on any add-on manager. Make sure you install DBM and DBM VEM. Like I mentioned, I have a link in the descriptions for everything here. /DBM. Then you'll see bosses, and then you go to options, and then after alerts you'll see spoken alerts. And spoken alerts, you want to make sure you select VEM, and the only option I have here is English female. I think you can actually get custom voices from things like Overwatch if you want, but this works really well for me. So that's part 1 of getting voice notifications. Let's go to part 2, and this is the most important one: weak auras. Now, if you're not familiar with this website, wago.io, please get familiar with it, because there's a whole lot of really nice weak auras shared by a lot of people. Now, first of all, this guy here, Cossis, creates some really amazing weak auras that I end up using it because they have really nice voice notifications to it. So first of all, I'm using Castle Nature 10 out of 10 bosses, all difficulties. This adds debuffs like this. And the most important part of this is that if you install Shared Media Cossis, which is an add-on, which you can get by using things like CurseForge, whatever add-on manager you use, install Shared Media Cossis add-on. It's a separate add-on. You need to install it. Once you get that, go to wago.io, select this weak aura. For example, if you're doing Castle Nature, I think it's really good. If you're just doing Mythic Plus, I really recommend Super Secret Shadowlands Dungeon Pack by the same person. And because this is the same person who's doing it, they are including these dodge, or like avoid this, run away, high energy voice notifications for every single ability that is relevant. So these two weak aura packages use the same kind of thing, and you can see it here. You can see here they're both linked to the instructions. So what do? You install the add-on Shared Media Cossis by itself if you're using certain add-on managers. After that, you install weak auras. After you install weak auras, you import this weak aura. And now, how do you customize this? Let's go and check it out. Now, you'll see from my add-on list that I have at the very bottom, I have weak aura sound pack by Cossis, which is basically your shared media as well. So make sure you install that add-on. Go to /weak auras, and I'm assuming you already know how to import weak auras and things like that. You're familiar to some extent what weak auras do. So this is the Castle Nature weak aura package that I imported, Castle Nature. The way that I have it done is that it goes left, which is what I prefer, and I change a couple of things. But what if I want to add extra notifications to certain icons that don't have enough notifications? For example, we're using Artificer right now, and I need to know when Glyph of Destruction happens because it's going to be raid damage in the next 4 seconds or so. I want to have an extra notification. So I can go to Glyph of Destruction. I can go to, for example, Actions. And in Actions, you'll hear Play Sounds. And you'll have extra options to pick from here. So you have a lot of these, like here, burp, blast, bleat, whatever, these noises that you can do. But if you don't want this, you can scroll to the bottom and you'll get a whole lot of extra custom voice notifications that you can do. And in my example, I set it to high energy. So if someone has high energy or the boss has high energy, in my head, there's going to be AoE damage.
Time your step. You cannot bargain with death.
High energy.
Rally on this.
Watch step.
So you can actually change this for any boss ability or any weak aura. For example, I can go to fixate and I can go play sound. In here it says fixate. I can change it to something else. Really customizable, and voice notifications, in my opinion, are the most important, one of the most important things right now in order to optimize your gameplay. Now, another huge thing that I consider to be a distinct advantage in World of Warcraft, and it's been popularized by guilds like Limit, because they've been doing a lot of their world first tries and they've been kind of showcasing how this works. Or like, hello, how are you? You see how my text shows up? It doesn't have a border around it. And I am in my garrison. Garrison is actually regarded as a protected area in much sense, or in the same sense as Mythic Plus or Raid Dungeons. This is not really allowed by the game, or at least it's not provided by the game by default. You cannot skin your chat bubbles in protected areas. But you can go around this with importing custom fonts or custom chat bubble profiles. Now, is this allowed by the game? It is. Limit has been using it for world first bosses. It's been available for a very long time. A lot of people have been doing it. And what are the distinct advantage of this? If you notice bosses like, for example, the third boss, Hungering Destroyer, where you have to keep track of how much HP each person has with Glutinous Miasma. Chat bubbles are OP. Chat bubbles are actually going to give you distinct advantage, because a lot of the times chat bubbles might be too big. The background might be taking up too much space. The font is not really nice. With this method, you're able to skin the font, you're able to change the background, you're able to have a better, more clean notifications in raids. So how do you do it? There's been actually a big topic on TukUI forums in terms of how you can do it. It was available for a very long time, but during Shadowlands, it kind of broke. You had to install or download 2 folders or 2 files and actually import it into your game. Those files were broken, but now this person here has updated a new font or a new folders that you can do. It's available in here, and you can actually pick no border with background, no border with low background, whichever style you really enjoy. This is what it's going to look like when you install these 2 folders. So what do? You go to these folders. For example, I really like no border with no background, very clean, very simplistic. So let's go to chat bubbles and we'll just download no background, no border, which is gonna give us this. We click into this, you'll see you have chat bubbles and you have chat bubble vertical. Downloads these 2 files. Once you download these 2 files, go into your World of Warcraft. I like to go open, right click, open file location, go into retail, and go into your interface. Now in the interface, you're gonna have to create a new folder called tooltips. In tooltips, copy these 2 files, and that is basically it. Make sure to restart your game, and if you're using things like LVUI, you have to do one last kind of change, and let's go and check it out. So one last thing, if you're actually using LVUI, there is an option in LVUI if you go to general, and if you go to general itself, you'll see at the Blizz UI improvements, at the very bottom you'll see chat bubbles, and you can still remove backdrop and things like that. I'm not 100% sure if this really affects protected areas like raids, Mythic Plus, or your garrison, but keep in mind, if it's not really working properly, check out your LVUI, Blizz UI improvements, and your chat bubbles, and if you're doing the right things like removing backdrop and changing fonts, because I like to use Expressway, and that should give you, if you watch this whole video, should give you voice notifications and give you a chance of skinning chat bubbles, very much like what Limit and a lot of world first guilds are using in terms of getting a distinct, in my opinion, distinct advantage in terms of performance in raids and Mythic Plus. And again, if you find any of this information relevant to you, all the people that created these awesome tools, that deserve all the attention they can get. Honestly, go and like their page, do whatever you can, because it is some of the most awesome content or resources that are available, that are used by some of the top end Mythic raiders and Mythic Plus players as well. And generally speaking, guys, if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. It helps me to do this. Let me know if I missed out on some of the juicer weak auras that are out there that everyone should know about, that I haven't heard about. Let me know, leave a comment in the description, and I'll see you in my next